In the year 2045, the world was filled with wonders and technology. People relied on machines for almost everything, but they never imagined the biggest discovery would come from the most unexpected place: animals. A group of scientists in a high-tech lab, known as the BioLink Institute, was working day and night to unlock the secrets of the human mind. They wanted to understand how humans communicate with each other and how animals communicate with one another. Little did they know, they were about to uncover something amazing. Dr. Maya Tran, the lead scientist, was passionate about her work. She loved animals and always believed they had feelings and thoughts just like humans. One day, while studying the brains of different species, she found something unusual. There was a gene in humans that activated when they were near animals. This gene allowed certain humans to understand the thoughts and emotions of animals. Maya was shocked. She realized that humans could actually communicate with animals. Excited by her discovery, Maya rushed to gather her team. They were all eager to hear the news. "Listen up, everyone! We've made a groundbreaking discovery," Maya announced, her voice filled with energy. "Humans can talk to animals. This gene allows us to understand what they think and feel." The room erupted with gasps and cheers. Her assistant, Jake, was the first to respond. "This is incredible, Dr. Tran. We need to tell the world." But Maya knew the news wouldn't be easy to share. Once the announcement was made, it quickly spread through the media like wildfire. News anchors and reporters rushed to the BioLink Institute for interviews. The world was fascinated. People began to dream about the possibilities. Some imagined having deep conversations with their pets, while others thought about using this new ability for research and protection of wildlife. However, not everyone was happy about this discovery. Major corporations saw a chance to make money. They envisioned using animals for their gain, training them for security, military purposes, and entertainment. Some scientists and animal rights activists worried that this ability could lead to more harm than good. The debate grew fierce, dividing society into two camps: those who wanted to protect animals and those who saw them as tools to be used. Amidst this chaos, a young activist named Alex emerged. He was passionate about animal rights and had always believed that animals deserved respect and protection. When he heard about the discovery, he felt a surge of hope. Maybe now people would finally listen to the animals. Alex decided to rally people around the cause. He created social media groups and started petitions, urging people to advocate for the animals. As the weeks passed, more humans began to unlock this communication ability. They would spend time with animals, learning to understand their thoughts. People noticed that when they were close to animals, they could sense their feelings: joy, sadness, fear, and love. This connection created strong bonds between humans and animals. However, corporations started to take notice. They sent representatives to the BioLink Institute, trying to convince Dr. Tran and her team to sell their research. They wanted to control the technology and use it for profit. But Maya was firm in her beliefs. She knew that if the wrong hands got hold of this discovery, it could lead to a world where animals were no longer free. Alex, witnessing the growing tensions, felt a sense of urgency. He knew he had to act quickly to protect the animals. He organized a rally, inviting everyone who cared about animal rights to join. The event attracted hundreds of people, all holding signs that read, "Save our animals," and "Humans and animals are equals." As Alex stood in front of the crowd, he felt a surge of hope. He spoke passionately about the need to protect animals and preserve the bond between species. The energy in the air was electric, and for the first time, people felt a sense of unity. The world was changing, and as the discovery of animal communication spread, so did the movement to protect the rights of all living beings. Little did they know that this was just the beginning of a much larger adventure, one that would challenge their beliefs and test their strength. The stage was set for a battle of ideals, and the future of communication between humans and animals hung in the balance. As the world buzzed with excitement over the ability to communicate with animals, one person stood out among the crowd: Alex Carter. At just 25 years old, Alex was a passionate animal rights activist. He grew up surrounded by pets, and from a young age, he felt a deep connection with them. While many people celebrated the new discovery, Alex worried about how it would be used. He believed that the power to understand animals should be used for their protection, not for profit or exploitation. After the rally he organized, Alex felt empowered. Hundreds of people had joined him, waving signs and chanting slogans. The energy of the crowd had filled him with hope. But he knew that this was just the beginning. Corporations were already planning how to use this new ability to make money, and he could not let that happen. Determined to make a difference, Alex started researching everything he could about the new gene that allowed communication with animals. He discovered that only a small percentage of humans had activated this gene, but those who did could communicate with a wide range of species. He learned that people who spent time with animals often felt a deep emotional connection, but there was also a danger. Some companies wanted to exploit this ability, using animals as tools for security and military operations. This realization made Alex even more determined to fight for the animals. One evening, while scrolling through his social media feed, Alex stumbled upon a video that changed everything. It showed a large corporation capturing wild animals to use in experiments. The animals looked terrified, and their cries echoed through the screen. Anger boiled inside him. He couldn't believe that people would treat animals this way, especially now that humans could understand their pain. With a fire ignited in his heart, Alex decided to take action. He gathered his friends from the rally and formed a small group dedicated to protecting animals. They named themselves the Animal Alliance. Together, they brainstormed ideas to raise awareness and fight against the corporations trying to exploit animals. The group met every week, planning events and campaigns. They created posters, flyers, and social media content to spread their message. Alex wrote a heartfelt letter to the public, sharing his thoughts on the importance of animal rights. He spoke about how humans had a responsibility to protect those who could not speak for themselves. The letter went viral, catching the attention of thousands. More and more people began to join the Animal Alliance, wanting to help. As the movement grew, so did the challenges. Corporations began to push back. They used their influence to spread fear, claiming that animal rights activists were against progress and innovation. They painted a picture of a world where humans would be safer with trained animals. Alex and his team faced criticism, but they stood strong in their beliefs. They organized protests and peaceful demonstrations, making their voices heard. One day, Alex received a message from a friend who worked at the BioLink Institute. She had overheard conversations about a secret project aimed at training animals for military use. This news sent chills down Alex's spine. He knew they had to act fast. He called an emergency meeting with the Animal Alliance. "We need to expose this project," Alex urged, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "If we don't do something now, we might lose our chance to protect these animals." The group agreed, and they set a plan in motion. They decided to infiltrate the BioLink Institute during an upcoming open house event. On the day of the event, Alex and his friends arrived early, blending in with the crowd. They knew this was their chance to gather evidence. They split up, each member tasked with gathering information. Alex moved through the exhibits, listening closely to the scientists and taking notes. As he walked through the halls, he felt a sense of determination. He remembered all the animals that suffered because of human greed and exploitation. He couldn't let that happen again. With each passing moment, his resolve grew stronger. Eventually, Alex stumbled upon a restricted area. Peeking through a door, he saw lab workers training animals, putting them through stressful exercises. It was clear they were being prepared for something terrible. Heart racing, he pulled out his phone and recorded the scene, knowing this evidence would be crucial. After gathering all the information they could, the Animal Alliance met up to discuss their next steps. They had uncovered a dark plan, and now they had to figure out how to expose it to the world. The battle was just beginning, and Alex was ready to fight for every animal that couldn't fight for themselves. Together, they would stand against those who sought to exploit their new ability, and they would do it with courage and heart. With the shocking discovery of the corporation's secret project weighing heavily on his mind, Alex Carter knew they needed a solid plan to expose the truth. The Animal Alliance gathered in their usual meeting spot, a small community center filled with posters of rescued animals and messages of hope. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of determination and fear, but Alex's spirit lifted everyone. "Okay, everyone, we have to act quickly," Alex began, standing at the front of the room. "What we saw at the BioLink Institute was terrible. If we don't stop them now, countless animals will be harmed." His friends nodded, their faces serious. They were all in this together. The group spent the next hour brainstorming ideas. They knew they had to gather more evidence and make sure their message reached as many people as possible. One of the members, Mia, suggested, "What if we organize a protest outside the BioLink Institute? We can invite everyone we know and get the media involved." "That's a great idea," Alex agreed. "But we need more than just a protest. We need to show them the evidence we have. We need to create a video that reveals the truth." James, another member of the Alliance, chimed in. "I can help with the video editing. We can include interviews with people who support animal rights, and we can use the footage you got from the lab. This way, people can see exactly what's happening." "Perfect," Alex replied, feeling the excitement build. "We'll show everyone that animals are suffering, and we can't let that happen. But we also need to think about how to get into the BioLink Institute again to gather more information. They might tighten security after what we found." The group spent the next few days planning the protest and gathering additional evidence. They reached out to animal rights organizations, inviting them to join their cause. Alex used social media to spread the word, and soon people from all over the city were talking about the upcoming event. As the day of the protest approached, Alex felt a mix of nerves and excitement. He knew this was their chance to make a real difference. The night before the protest, the Animal Alliance met again to finalize their plans. "Remember, we have to stay peaceful," Alex reminded everyone. "Our goal is to raise awareness, not to create chaos. If we can show the public how serious this is, we can get more people on our side." The morning of the protest dawned bright and sunny. People began to gather outside the BioLink Institute, holding colorful signs that read, "Animals are not weapons," and "Protect our voice." The energy was electric. Alex stood at the front, his heart racing with anticipation. As the crowd grew, Alex took a deep breath and stepped up to the microphone. "Thank you all for coming today. We are here because we believe in a world where animals are treated with kindness and respect. We have uncovered a dark secret, and we will not stay silent." Cheers erupted from the crowd, fueling Alex's passion. He felt empowered, knowing that he wasn't alone in this fight. After the speeches, it was time to share their video. The Animal Alliance set up a large screen, and everyone gathered around, eager to see the truth. As the footage played, the crowd grew quiet, watching the disturbing scenes of animals being trained in stressful situations. Gasps of shock filled the air as the video revealed the corporation's cruel intentions. "Now we need to act," Alex called out after the video ended. "We will take this evidence to the media. We will share it with everyone until the world knows what is happening behind these walls." The crowd cheered again, their spirits lifted. Alex felt a surge of hope. This was just the beginning. But their plan wasn't finished yet. They needed to gather even more evidence and find a way to stop the training entirely. After the protest, Alex met with his friends to discuss their next steps. "We should try to get inside the lab again," he suggested. "If we can capture more footage and talk to some of the workers, we might uncover even more secrets." Mia nodded. "I can help with that. I still have a few contacts at the BioLink Institute. Maybe one of them will help us." With their spirits high and a renewed sense of purpose, the Animal Alliance planned their next mission. They knew the risks were high, but they were determined to protect the animals at all costs. Together they would fight for justice and show the world that humans and animals deserved to live in harmony. The sun rose over the BioLink Institute, casting long shadows across the building. Alex Carter stood with his friends from the Animal Alliance, feeling the weight of their mission pressing on his shoulders. They had gathered outside, ready to take a stand against the corporation's cruel practices. With their cameras in hand and determination in their hearts, they were prepared for the fight ahead. "Remember our plan," Alex said, looking at each of his friends. "We'll split into two groups. Mia, James, and I will head inside to gather more evidence. The rest of you will stay outside to keep the crowd energized and informed." Everyone nodded, their faces serious yet filled with resolve. They knew the risks involved, but they also knew they couldn't turn back now. Their cause was too important. As they entered the building, Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. The sterile hallways and bright lights made him uneasy, but he pushed those feelings aside. They had a mission. They needed to find proof of the corporation's plans and help the animals who were trapped inside. They moved quietly, sticking close together as they navigated through the maze of rooms. Suddenly, Mia stopped and pointed to a door marked Restricted Access. "That's where they keep the training rooms," she whispered. Alex nodded, his heart racing. They approached the door cautiously. Alex glanced around to make sure no one was watching. With a quick push, he opened the door just enough for them to slip inside. The room was large and filled with training equipment. In the corner, a group of animals was being put through a rigorous exercise routine. Their fearful eyes and tired bodies made Alex's heart ache. "We need to film this," Alex said, pulling out his camera. He started recording, capturing every moment. Mia and James joined him, ensuring they documented the cruelty unfolding before them. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared throughout the building. Red lights flashed, and the sounds of footsteps echoed from the hallway. "We have to go now," James shouted, panic rising in his voice. They quickly backed away, their hearts racing as they hurried toward the exit. But as they turned to leave, they saw 2 security guards blocking the door. "Stop right there!" one of the guards shouted, eyes narrowing as he reached for his radio. "Run!" Alex yelled, and they darted back into the room. They needed to find another way out. "This way!" Mia pointed to a window at the far end of the training room. With no time to lose, they rushed toward it. The glass was high, but Alex and James helped Mia climb up. "Go, go!" Alex urged, pushing her upward. With one final push, she made it through and landed safely outside. "Now you," James said, grabbing Alex and lifting him up. He slipped through the window just in time to see Mia signaling from the ground. "Hurry! They're coming!" With adrenaline pumping through his veins, Alex landed beside Mia and they sprinted away from the building. James was right behind them. They heard shouting and the sound of footsteps growing closer, but they didn't stop running. As they reached the edge of the property, they saw their friends waiting for them, waving their arms in excitement. The crowd outside had grown larger, and their voices filled the air with shouts of protest. "We did it! We got the evidence!" Alex shouted, breathless. The crowd erupted in cheers. Alex felt a rush of pride and hope. They had faced danger, but they had succeeded in capturing the truth. Now it was time to share it with the world. Back at their community center, they quickly uploaded the footage to social media. As they worked, they could feel the tension in the air. Would people believe them? Would this be enough to make a change? Within hours, the video went viral. People around the world watched in shock as the cruel training methods were revealed. The hashtags, "Protect Our Animals" and "Our End Animal Exploitation," started trending. News outlets picked up the story, and the Animal Alliance received countless messages of support. But with this newfound attention came backlash from BioLink Institute. The corporation issued a statement claiming the video was misleading and that their training methods were safe and humane. Alex knew they had to fight back. "Now is the time to keep pushing," he told his friends. "We can't let them silence us. We have to rally more people to our side and show them that animals deserve better." Inspired by Alex's words, the Animal Alliance organized a larger protest. They reached out to other animal rights organizations and even some celebrities who were passionate about the cause. The day of the protest arrived, and the streets were filled with passionate voices. People carried signs chanting slogans that echoed their commitment to animal rights. Alex felt a surge of hope as he looked out at the sea of supporters. They were fighting for a world where humans could communicate with animals for good, not for exploitation. As they marched, Alex realized that their fight had only just begun. But with each voice raised in unity, they were one step closer to making a real difference. Together they would stand strong and show the world that they would not back down until every animal was safe and free. After the successful protest and the overwhelming support from people around the world, the atmosphere was electric with hope. The Animal Alliance had become a symbol of resistance against animal cruelty, and their efforts were making waves. Alex Carter felt a renewed sense of purpose as he gathered with his friends in their community center, a place that had become their headquarters. "We did it, guys!" Mia exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. "The video went viral, and now the BioLink Institute is facing serious backlash. This is our chance to keep the pressure on them." James nodded, his expression serious but hopeful. "But we can't stop here. We need to keep educating people about what's happening and how they can help. We've started a movement, and we need to keep it going." Alex stood at the front of the room, feeling a mix of pride and determination. "You're right. This is just the beginning. We've shown the world what is happening behind closed doors, but we have to keep fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves." The group discussed their next steps, planning new events and campaigns to raise awareness about animal rights. They decided to organize a community fair that would include educational workshops, guest speakers, and opportunities for people to adopt pets from local shelters. They wanted to bring the community together and show that caring for animals was a shared responsibility. As the days passed, the Animal Alliance worked tirelessly to put their fair together. They reached out to local businesses for support, inviting veterinarians, animal trainers, and rescue organizations to join in. The excitement in the community grew as news of the event spread. On the day of the fair, the sun shone brightly, and the park was filled with families, children, and their furry friends. Colorful booths lined the pathways, offering information about pet care, training, and the importance of adopting animals from shelters. Alex and his friends set up a booth for the Animal Alliance, showcasing their mission and sharing stories of animals who had suffered because of exploitation. Throughout the day, people came and went, engaging with the activities and learning about animal rights. Mia held a workshop on how to communicate with pets effectively, sharing techniques that emphasized kindness and understanding. James helped with a booth that demonstrated how to train dogs using positive reinforcement methods. As the sun began to set, Alex took a moment to step back and observe the scene. Children laughed as they played with animals, and families gathered around to learn more about caring for their pets. He felt a warm sense of belonging and accomplishment. This was what they had fought for, a world where animals were loved and respected. But as they celebrated their success, Alex knew that there was still much work to be done. He was reminded of the animals still trapped in the BioLink Institute and other cruel facilities around the world. "We need to keep the pressure on," he said to his friends as they cleaned up after the event. "The fight isn't over yet." With the fair behind them, they decided to launch a campaign called Voices for the Voiceless. This campaign aimed to gather stories from pet owners and animal lovers, sharing their experiences and showing the positive impact animals had on their lives. They planned to create a video montage that would highlight the bond between humans and animals, illustrating why animal rights were so crucial. As the campaign gained momentum, Alex and his friends continued to advocate for the cause. They organized meetings with local lawmakers, urging them to support legislation that would protect animals from cruelty and exploitation. They wanted to make a lasting change, not just in their community, but across the country. In the midst of their hard work, Alex received a message from a former employee of the BioLink Institute. The whistleblower had information that could expose more of the corporation's wrongdoings. This was the break they had been waiting for. "Everyone, we need to meet right away," Alex called, gathering the team. "We have a lead that could change everything." As they sat around the table, Alex shared the news, and the room buzzed with excitement. "This is our chance to expose them once and for all. We can gather more evidence and put an end to their cruel practices." The group discussed their strategy, knowing they had to be careful. They planned to meet the whistleblower in a public place, ensuring safety for everyone involved. As they prepared for this crucial meeting, the weight of their mission settled heavily on their shoulders. They had fought hard, but they knew that the most significant challenges still lay ahead. With the Animal Alliance growing stronger and more determined, Alex felt a sense of hope. They had ignited a movement, and together they would continue to fight for a world where all creatures could live free from harm. This was not just a fight for animals, it was a fight for compassion, understanding, and a brighter future. And as they moved forward, they knew that together they could make a difference.